Hi! In this video I'm going to show you how to draw this Halloween paper cut design in Procreate. Before you start, make sure to download the color palette, that you have all my paper textures and brushes. They are linked in the description of this video. I would also like to let you know that if you're interested in exploring paper cutout illustrations and learning even more creative ways of drawing in this style, I am very excited to announce that soon I will be launching my first Procreate course, and it will be all about paper cutout designs. You can sign up now and join the waitlist to be the first one to find out about it and get a special discount. I am looking forward to sharing my knowledge and this style with you. And if you enjoyed this video and in general you would like to learn more about Procreate, learn different styles and techniques, please check out my Patreon. I add their new video every week and all of them are step by step, so they are perfect for beginners in digital art. Link is in the description. So with all that being said, grab your drawing tools, relax, and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. Rotate it this way. And first we can color the paper that will be in the back. So let's take our first color, take color number 1, and drag and drop it into the canvas like this. Now let's take another color, color number 2, and we are going to select here a rectangle in the middle. To do it easily and quickly, we can take the selection tool over here. At the bottom, let's pick rectangle and turn on color fill. Now we can just select here rectangle like that, and we're going to have here this color. Okay, tap here to finish this. And now we can color this bottom part with the lightest color. Let's take it, it's color number 3. Again, let's take the selection tool and select it over here. Okay, make sure that those two colors here will be overlapping. Tap here to finish, and now we're going to blend those colors together. To do that, we can go to the adjustments and take here Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil on the screen to the blur size. And let's make it 50%. Okay, tap here to finish. So now we have the paper that will be in the back ready. We are still going to add here some elements, but we'll do it later on. Now let's create the paper that will be in front, on top of everything. Let's make a new layer for this. So tap here on this plus. And now let's take the color. Let's take color number 4. We can pick the brush to draw the shape. So let's go over here and let's go to calligraphy and take monoline brush. Let's use here brush size 35 and we can draw kind of like a wavy line all around here canvas. And if you see that your lines are a little bit shaky, I think maybe mine are a little bit too shaky, we can change one setting. Let's go to the Actions menu, Preferences, Pressure and Smoothing, and make the stabilization higher number. I'm going to make it about 42%. Okay, so now we can draw and the lines will not be so shaky. So let's draw a shape like this. Okay, and now we can color the outside of this. So over here like this. Okay, so this will be the paper that will be in front. Let's create a paper that will be behind it. We are going to duplicate this layer and make it a little bit smaller. So let's open the layers. To duplicate this, we have to swipe on it to the left and pick duplicate. Now let's take this layer underneath this one. And we can change the color of this. So let's pick the color, take color number 5, drag and drop it over here. You can swipe your pencil to the left or right to adjust the color drop threshold. And now when you open the layers, you see this one is darker. We are going to make it smaller. So let's take the arrow tool. At the bottom, let's pick uniform option. And we can make it smaller. Let's do like that. and also over here in this way. Okay? Let's tap here to finish this. And now you can see that the edges are empty. When you close the first layer, you can see it much better. So let's color this space too. Let's grab the color and drop it over here. Okay? We can bring back the first layer, and now we're going to duplicate this second one. So swipe on it to the left and pick duplicate. Take the one underneath. We can change the color of this. Take color number 6, drop it over here, and now let's make it smaller. So take the arrow tool, and in the same way we can make it smaller like this. Okay, let's tap here to finish this, and also we can color the edges, because this one also doesn't have the edges colored. So let's drop the color over here. Okay, let's bring them back. So this is what we have now. Now we can draw the main element of our illustration, and this will be the castle. It will be right above this background color over here, this background paper. So let's make here a new layer on top of this one. We can add the other elements such as pumpkin and the spider web later on. Now let's draw the castle. So let's pick the color for this. Take color number 7. And now to draw this, we can use the selection tool. And this way we're going to have very nice straight edges. So let's take the selection tool. And at the bottom, let's pick freehand option. Make sure color fill is on. And start dropping here points on your screen to create here the castle shape. So just like that, you can make your own castle. It can be a little bit wobbly, the lines don't have to be straight. Because this is a Halloween illustration, so I think this kind of not a straight design will look the best over here. And if you want to go back, you can always just tap 2 fingers on the screen to take that line back, okay? So let's make here our castle. Okay, I think this would be good for me. Let's take it all the way outside of the canvas. And now close this by tapping here on this point. Okay, and the shape is ready. We can move it. Let's take the arrow tool. And let's move it maybe more to the middle of the canvas. If you want, you can also adjust the size of this, but I'm happy with this size, so I'll keep it like this. Tap here to finish this. And now we're going to cut out from this shape some windows and like a road and a door. We can do it also with the selection tool. So let's take the selection tool again. Now we have to turn off the color fill option. And let's draw the shapes. So you can draw the windows just like that. Again, they can be very wobbly, don't have to be straight. So this is first window for me. Now maybe I would like to have one over here. One bigger one over here. You can add as many as you want, big and small, however you want them. Then also I will draw here a door. So I'm going to draw here a rectangle first like this. Okay, and then we can erase here an arc from the top, but first let's draw the road. So here I will just draw kind of like a zigzaggy line. Like this. And maybe I will still add here a small window somewhere over here, like that. Okay, so now to cut this out, we can open the layers, we can tap on this layer and pick here clear. Now we can cut out here some circles and some arcs. For this we can use the eraser. Let's tap on it again and set it to monoline brush. Let's make the brush size 32. And over here, I'm going to cut out a circle. So let's draw a circle like this. Hold your pencil on the screen. And now you can put your finger here to make this a perfect circle. Okay. Now we can erase it manually like this. Over here, maybe let's erase an arc above this window. So we can just do like that. Maybe same for this one. And maybe also on this tower, I'm going to have a circular window still. Okay, like that. And here for the door, let's erase a big arc on top of it. You can hold your pencil on the screen to make here a nice arc. So you should have something like this. And now we can divide the windows into few parts. So for this, let's take the brush. And we can now just draw some lines going across of them, like this. To make the line straight, hold your pencil on the screen. And you can always tap here to edit the line. When you finish, tap with your finger on the screen. So let's do something like this to all of the windows. Again, they don't have to be straight. Now here I'm going to make the brush size smaller, size 11. And maybe draw smaller lines on top of this. And with this smaller brush size, I'm going to divide the smaller windows too. Okay, so this castle shape is ready. Now it would be nice to have here some kind of light behind it. We're going to draw a paper colored in yellow for this. That will be behind the castle. So let's make a new layer for this and put it under that castle over here. Let's take the color, take color number 9, and we can draw it with the selection tool. It will be faster and easier. So let's take it. Over here, let's pick freehand option and turn on color fill. So now we can just draw around the windows like this, close the selection, and we have it colored. The shapes don't have to be even. Let's just make sure that they will cover the windows areas. Okay, when you finish, just tap over here. Let's keep drawing our basic shapes. Maybe now we can draw a pumpkin. I would like the pumpkin to be between this layer and this one. So let's find them. This is the last purple paper. So let's make a new layer on top of this one. And we can draw here pumpkin shape. Let's take the brush and let's draw it. I want it to be quite big over here. I'll draw a shape like this. Close it and color this inside. Okay. Let's draw here a stem. Color this. And now we can cut out the eyes and the nose. So let's take the eraser. Let's use here brush size maybe 11. And we can cut out the eyes. You can cut them out in any shape that you like. I'm going to make mine like this. Now we can erase this whole part. I'll make the eraser size bigger. And now I'll make it smaller again to cut out the nose. I'll make it 10%. And I will cut the nose like this. And the mouth. And now bigger size of the brush to cut the inside of the mouth. Okay. And maybe let's divide this here with some lines. Let's make the brush size about 20%. And we can draw here some lines going like this. I think this way it will be more interesting. Now maybe behind this purple paper we can draw some tombstones. So let's make a new layer above the castle and under the purple paper. Let's take color number 8. And we can just draw here some kind of shape like this. Make sure that you're closing your shapes here at the edge of the canvas, so you can color this inside. And now with a bigger brush size, maybe 35, we can draw a cross on top of this. And for this one, maybe let's make it longer. Okay, so this way we can have here more interesting shadow. Now let's cut out the letters here. So let's take the eraser. My brush size will be 15. And we can cut out the letters. Maybe let's make it actually bigger size, about 37. So let's cut out the letters R, I, and P. Same over here. Okay. And the last element for this illustration will be a spider web. Let's draw it behind the first paper. So let's make a layer over here under the first paper. Let's take the color. For this we can take color number 11. And with the brush size, maybe let's make it a bit bigger. 68. We can draw here a spider web coming from this corner. So draw some straight lines. Like that. Now let's make it smaller. Maybe 39. And draw some arcs. So to draw each arc, you can hold your pencil on the screen to make it a nice arc. Okay, and maybe also we can draw here a small spider. So let's draw a line going down from here. And now we can draw here a small circle. Now another one. And then with a smaller brush size, 20, we can draw his legs. Okay, maybe like this. We have now all of the elements ready. Before we add here shadows and lights and paper textures, let's add here some gradients. Let's start here with the windows, the light in them. So let's go to this layer over here. We want to color now on this layer only. So let's set this layer as alpha lock. Tap here and pick alpha lock. And let's pick the color. Take color number 10. Let's change the brush. Let's go to airbrushing and take soft brush. Let's make it about 4%. And we can add some light here at the bottom of those shapes. So like this. In each window, we can add some light here at the bottom part. Okay, now here for the door, let's add it like that. And then here from the top to the bottom of the road. So like this. We can add some shading also to those tombstones. Let's go over here. Let's set this layer as alpha lock and pick the color. Let's take color number 13. Let's make the brush size bigger, maybe about 9%. And we can make the top of them a little bit darker, like this. Okay, just to make it more interesting. Now maybe we can draw a moon and some stars. So let's go to the layer of the background paper, this one. We can make a new layer on top of this. Let's pick the color for the moon. Take color number 12. Let's change the brush. Let's go back to calligraphy and monoline brush and draw a circle maybe somewhere over here. Hold your pencil on the screen and put your finger to make this a perfect circle. Okay, you can tap now over here and move it. I'm going to place it maybe somewhere like this. Okay, when you finish, tap with your finger on the screen and color this inside. Let's add some stars over here. For this we can change the brush. Let's go to Siakulaart freebies and take stars. With the brush size 6%, we can add some stars here like this. Okay, and this will be enough. Now we can also add some gradient to the castle. So let's go to the layer of it. This one over here. Set it as alpha lock. And now let's take color number 14. Let's change the brush. Let's go back here to airbrushing and soft brush. We can make it bigger, maybe about 21, and add it to the top. Like that. And this will be enough. Okay, now we are ready to turn this into a paper cut design. Before we start doing anything, let's unlock those layers that we set to alpha lock. So let's tap on it and turn off alpha lock. Now let's go to the tombstones, tap on them and turn off alpha lock. The windows actually we can keep as they are because we are not going to use them to drop the shadow. They're just kind of like a background for the castle shape. So now we are ready to start dropping the shadow from this. To do it, we are going to duplicate all of the papers. Let's go to the top and let's swipe on it to the left and pick duplicate. And now we're going to take the layer underneath, and now we want this to be in a gray color. So to color this easily and quickly, we can just tap on this layer and pick select. Make sure the color fill is on, and let's pick the gray color, color number 15. And when you open the layers, you can see this is in a gray color. Right away, we can change the blending mode of this to multiply. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing to all of the layers with the papers. So now next layer is the spider web. Let's duplicate it. Take the layer underneath, tap on it and pick select. It is already gray. And let's change the blending mode of this to multiply. Okay. Next one, this one, let's duplicate it. Take the layer underneath, tap on it, pick select. And now change it to multiply. Now the pumpkin, let's duplicate it. Take the layer underneath, tap on it, pick select. Change it to multiply. Now this dark purple frame, duplicate it. Take one underneath, tap on it, pick select. Change it to multiply. Okay, now the tombstones, duplicate them, take the layer underneath, tap on it, pick select. Okay, change it to multiply. Now we have the castle. Let's duplicate it. Take the layer underneath, tap on it and pick select. Change it to multiply. Okay. And now this is it. This is all here in the background. We are not touching this. So now we can swipe on all of those layers to the right to select them, the multiply layers, the shadows. And we are going to move them around. So let's take the arrow tool and we can move this to see where we want to have our shadows. You can go like this, this, however you want it. I will just put it here a little bit to the top right. If you want to make macro movements, just tap on the screen. I think I like it like this. Okay, so I'm going to tap here to finish this. And now we can blur those shadows to make them look nicer. So now one by one we can go to each layer of the shadows and add their Gaussian blur. Let's start here on top. Go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. And let's make this maybe about 8%. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The spider web. Let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's also make it 8%. Okay, now this one. Let's go to the adjustments, take Gaussian blur. Make it 8%. Now the pumpkin shadow. Let's go to the adjustments, take Gaussian blur, make it 8%. And sometimes you can adjust it and maybe make it less or more, depending on how this looks on the illustration. Okay, let's go now to this shadow. Take Gaussian blur, make it 8%. Now the tombstone shadow. Take Gaussian blur, make it 8%. And the castle. Let's take Gaussian blur and make it 8%. Okay. Now let's add here a thickness to those papers. So we're going to duplicate all of the layers again, the base layers. Let's start here with the top. Let's swipe on this layer to the left and pick duplicate. And now we can take this layer underneath and we're going to change the color of this to something lighter. So let's tap here and pick select. And now let's open the colors and take color number 16. Okay, let's open the layers and now this is in this light color. Let's do it to all of the base shapes, base layers. So let's go now to the spider web, duplicate it, take the layer underneath, tap on it and pick select. Now this one, duplicate it, take the layer underneath, tap on it and pick select. Now the pumpkin. Let's duplicate it, take the layer underneath, tap on it and pick select. Okay, now this last frame, duplicate it, take the layer underneath, tap on it and pick select. Now the tombstones, duplicate them, take the layer underneath, tap on it and pick select. Okay, and now the castle, duplicate this, take the layer underneath, tap on it and pick select. Okay, so now we have to select all of those lighter layers. Let's swipe on them to the right. And we are going to move them in the opposite direction than we moved our shadows. So I moved my shadows this way, so I'll be moving those towards the bottom left. Let's take arrow tool. And over here we want to move this just a little bit, so we can use here this tapping motion. Okay, so just tap 2-3 times on the screen and this will be enough. You don't want to add it too much too, so just be careful when you do this, so it doesn't move too far away from the base shape. Okay, when you finish, tap over here, and now in the end we can add here a paper texture. You can add the paper texture at the start or at the end, but for this illustration I want to keep it very simple. I'll just add one paper texture to all of this. So to do that, let's go to the top layers, tap on the top layer, and we can import the paper texture. Let's open the Actions menu, Add, and now pick Insert the file and go to the folder where you have saved my paper textures. You can pick any paper texture that you like. Today I'm going to pick number 3. Okay. We can rotate it so it will fit the canvas. And then make it bigger. Okay. Tap over here when you finish, and now we have to adjust the blending modes of this layer, so this paper texture will be applied to the layers. So let's open the layers. Let's tap here on this N letter to change the blending mode, and we can set it to linear burn. Okay, now this is very dark, we can turn down the opacity of this. Let's make it about 74%. And still to fix it, to adjust the colors and make it lighter, we can duplicate this layer. So swipe on it to the left and pick Duplicate. And take the top layer and change it to Overlay. And now adjust the opacity. For this, I'll make it brighter. I will make it here about 88%. Okay, so this could be finished, but I think it's always nice to add here still some extra light. So for this, we're going to make a new layer to apply the light. I like to add the light below the first paper. So I'm not going to add the light here to this front paper. I will start adding the light from the layer with the spider web over here. So above the spider web, let's make a new layer. Okay. We can change the blending mode of this to Overlay. And let's pick the color for the light. Let's take color number 10. Let's pick the brush, take soft brush, and let's make the brush size maybe about 28. And we're going to add the light kind of in the same direction that we have shadows. So here in the top corner, top right corner. Okay, let's add it here like that. Add it a little bit here to the pumpkin on the top right. Now we can make the brush size smaller. And let's say we want to add the light now only to the spider web, to the ends of it. So to do it precisely, we can select the spider web layer. Let's tap here and pick Select. Make sure to turn off the color fill. And with this selected, let's go back to our overlay layer, this one. And this way we can add now the light only to the spider web. Okay, so let's add some of it here to the ends of it, just like that, okay? Let's add also some light to the tombstones. Let's select the layer of them. Over here, tap here and pick Select. Let's go back to the layer of the light, this one, and add it here to those ends, like that, okay? And this will be enough. So now let's open the layers. We can turn off the selection and we can adjust the opacity of this layer. Let's make it here about 62%. You can see the difference with this light and without it. I think it looks way better with it, but maybe I would like to make it a little bit lighter. So we can go to the adjustments, take Hue, Saturation, Brightness, and make it just a little brighter. I'll make it here 55. Okay, let's tap here to finish this. And now we can check the difference. I think this looks way better with the light. So let's keep it. So now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed it and you can share your drawing with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you'd like to explore the paper cut designs more, make sure to join the waitlist for my course. Or if you are impatient and would like to draw more with me in general, you can check out my Patreon. Like I said before, I add a new video every week and you can learn different styles and techniques. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!